So that, would you guys say that was, run about that time was a turning point for the band? Because we would have written other stuff at that time as well. Because we must have started writing all the sort of Angular stuff at that time. Because did we play one of we didn't play Control, but did we play one of the other ones?
No,
we were
that was
still
later.
playing like Tommy Boy, and we were still playing The Fear, and we were still playing History's Repeating and all that.
Yeah, so I guess that is where it transitions away from those songs and starts to go more into like right-wing stories, Spitball, Control, all that kind of newer stuff.
We got kind of Angular and started chucking out the idea of verse, chorus. Although not Tommy Boy, right-wing stories, Sad Boy Tories, is like a hybrid of that, because it's still got that sort of pop sensibility.
That was that transition, I think.
That and Shite Bag both have pop structure.
We had Shite Bag by
I think that was the first time we played Shite Bag.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's footage of maybe Faye or Rosie saying,
apparently it's called Shite Bag.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would have been a big turning point. Did it feel like a turning point?
No, it felt like a failure.
Why?
What?
Why?
No, well, no, I don't think it felt like. I don't know. We just what else happened? I don't know. I think I was annoyed at something that had happened at Cat House. I think I'd messed up quite a lot at Cat House or something like that.
Cat House is one of those things, I think, for us. It's weird. Whenever we've got no pressure at all on us, we tend to have an okay. Well. No, we tend to. I'd say we tend to have just like for me anyway. We have a really. It's fine. If there's no pressure, we're all right. See, when it comes to me, I don't know about you guys. Whenever there is a situation that I don't want to be in, or we've been put in an uncomfortable situation by a promoter or by another act that we're playing with, or just what's been going on in our life, sort of like a shitty venue, bad sound, we always end up smashing it. And we always end up being like, it's such a shame that this gig couldn't have been that gig, or like...
Same thing happened at the Cat House that happened in Inverness at Christmas. A band played over their set time, so we had to take less of a set, and we smashed it because of that pressure. It's the exact same thing. Because we went, right, and it was intense for everyone in the room.
Yeah, basically, when Ed has less time to speak, we do well.
Yeah. When we just keep up the pressure. Christ! Where was that you did that?
Yeah, that was Inverness.
Was it?
That was when we headlined. Aye, we would have headlined.
Madhouse.
With Petblow.
Oh yeah.
And that was because the set was so short, and Eddie and Nathan always have to
cut a song, in fact, because they were having something after us, weren't they?
Mad Hatters was like a disco, or was like they did like a disco after it.
See the band after though, they loved us. We probably could have kept playing.
It was like a ska band or something, like
they
a
were
ska
amazing.
covers band. That was a really good gig. I enjoyed that gig.
That
was
again,
a really good
that
gig.
was because we were running out of time because we'd started late, I think.
We started late. Band that were on before us.
Issues.
Yeah,
not us personally. Like the night had started late. I mean, so we had to cut a song out, and we were just like, right, just go, and it was the energy was there because we were all sweating, and you started playing a song before Eddie could even have a drink.
Christ!
dun.
Yeah, we
That
went
is
from
amazing.
one song straight into another,
Mm.
and Ed was like, "Oh!"
So
It's
after
great.
that is when we tried to start doing that intentionally, and started writing on the set list specifically when Eddie is allowed to speak, so that we just go like, right, we're going to play 3 songs in a row, not stopping, have a little break, 3 more songs, 4 more songs, whatever.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that is why our last King Tut's gig, the culmination of a year and a half of experience and the planning and the wisdom to craft our set into the perfect little chonk. And we played, and people were like,
Mhm.
I can't!
That last King Tut's gig, not that I've ever lost faith in the band.
What?
Before I say what I was going to say, but it like reignited it for me a wee bit. Like it was like, because the room was so against us from like the minute we stood on, and not
Yeah.
in a bad way. It was just the 2 acts before us were actually really one act that were split in 2. It was 2 bands with shared members, so everybody was literally there to see. I say everybody. It was a perfect third. The audience was. I think we sold like 30 tickets and they'd sold 60.
Yeah.
So it was a perfect third of fans, but really we only had a third of the audience because the rest was all there to see them. And it was just like we had to win them over, but I say had, we didn't have to do anything. But the fact that when we started playing, they enjoyed it, especially when we were so sonically different. I remember sitting, like, the guys were super competent, but I remember sitting with Nathan, listening to them sound check and thinking, why have we been booked on this set? Like, they were Arctic Monkeys, like the latter half of the Arctic Monkeys catalogue-esque style bands. It was like the Fratellis and the Arctic Monkeys and that sort of music. I was just like, the band that we were at the beginning, when we were playing the crap that we were playing
Snake.
to start off with, would have went down super well without having to have the experience that we had. But I think, yeah, coming off that stage, and there was like an American couple in the front row who like grabbed me and were like, oh. So it was sort of like, this is cool. This is
There
cool.
were kids, like the kids there to see them were coming up to us and going, you were amazing. I've never seen anything like that. Ah!
Mhm.
That felt good.
It was the first gig as well that we've not been compared to anybody. Because usually when we come off stage, there's like a 50-year-old man that goes, I was like the Sex Pistols, or oh, it's like proper 70s punk. Or there'll be like somebody our age who's like, oh, you sound like this band, or you sound like... And nobody ever says the same thing as well, which is interesting. Like, oh, Dead Kennedys, or oh, like, there's always a different... But at that gig, that was the first time people had just been like, oh, it was like nothing I've ever seen before. That was so cool. So it was quite gratifying in that respect.
And then, when was that?
Start of the year, February. Yeah.
Was that this year?
That was this year. That was. It would have been February.
Oh yeah, no, because
it would have been the mid-February. Because my car broke down and I went and had to get a new car like the next day, and I've got a picture of it must have been February the 20th, 2020. It was. That was the date of it.
Yes.
Because
that was our first gig, wasn't it, this year?
That was our first gig this year.
Because we had one that kept getting postponed.
Flying Duck, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
we tried to book the Flying Duck, but yeah, that was our first gig of the year. So that was good. So that's probably why it reignited something. And it was that was like a difficult part of my life. My car broke down. My gran was passing away. Like 2020 has been, but for the band, minus this big massive break, we started on a high. The memories that people have that came to see us recently have all like both gigs that we've played this year have been really good gigs.
So the last gig, Newcastle, finally got out of Scotland. Well, I say finally, like year and a half, whatever. Like it's not actually that long. And Scotland's a
Considering
good
we've
place
got-
to gig anyway. So
Considering with no management, we've like not got many like
Friends.
professional people behind us.
Oh right, yeah.
We're doing okay. Like I think we're doing pretty well considering we're doing it all on our own.
So
like the bands we played with had management.
yeah. So that gig was on the Saturday in mid-March, and it was only like the Thursday before, so like 3 days before, when people had actually started going, oh wait, hold on, like coronavirus might be like a real actual thing. It was literally the Thursday that people started taking it seriously and being like, oh, we might have to like self-isolate and stuff. So we got quite worried about like obviously having to drive down to Newcastle and play a gig, and
There was
there was some concern. We thought
not from me. I wasn't really concerned.
Not from Eddie.
Nick was rightfully concerned.
Yeah, I was concerned.
I was blasé at best.
So we even were like, is this going to be cancelled or whatever? But again, it was like so early, nobody really knew what they were supposed to do. But that might be the best that we've played.
I mean, it was
which is
unreal.
Good because it's it's supposed to be getting better and better. But we had a good response there, even though there was only a few people there. But like
15,
because it was
15 people, 30 people.
Well, I mean, a lot of people came in late, like after we'd finished. But like for us, there were a handful.
There was about 15 people. Which is actually fine when you've never played that place before.
Yeah, but exactly that's the point. Is we'd never played outside of Scotland, so yeah, we had people who'd never heard us before coming up and being like, "What was that? Come back."
But
and yeah, hopefully we will.
That was a good set list. Like, was it the same set list as Tuts?
It would have been one song different. It would have been
I think we flipped
a couple of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So I feel like this year we had ideas about like keeping a near consistent set, only swapping out one or two songs, because every previous gig has been very like half the set has been like new songs and stuff.
Churning it out.
So yeah, I think this year the plan was to be more consistent, try and just play as many gigs in as many different places as possible, which has obviously not happened. And we had a late start anyway, starting in mid-February, but that did give us time to kind of work out the perfect set list. So I mean, I guess we would just pick up from where we left off, hopefully towards the end of the summer, with a wee Shite Bag single launch, Good Boy Punk Club edition, and then see what happens. But
even if like they can drop, if restrictions drop that allow us to rehearse, like that would make all the difference, because we'd be able to actually get working on writing stuff. Because really, for me, like I said earlier, the next step is getting that EP ready to record, so that once we've got the cash, we can just get it churned out, and spend a couple of days in a studio, hopefully, which would be good.
Would be nice.
It would be good.
Not likely though.
I mean, we're not the only band that's not able to do what we're doing.
And yeah, in the grand scheme of things, we're all doing very well, I'd say, considering we're all healthy and in good places. And although I do miss you boys, and I do wish I could play me drums, it's not the end of the world. There's always Star Trek and Animal Crossing.
It sucks for you the most because you don't have a kit to play. You can't just go and Eddie's doing his Rowley King thing and he's satisfying that itch.
I hate playing on my own anyway, though. So it would, even if I had a kit, like, probably wouldn't play that much. just not just not enjoyable without jamming, thrashing about.
Yeah, I mean that's like I said earlier, it's the biggest reason why we've not had like an online presence, like why we're not doing live streams and we're not putting out actual music content, because it'd just be cheating the people that actually like us, because what they would get wouldn't be Pandacast.
It's because you're lazy, basically.
Yeah, and I'm lazy, and I'm writing stuff, so I've not got time to.
Yeah, and you're just lazy.
Mostly lazy. Yeah. I'm getting out of bed at 7:30, getting a drink of water, picking up the Switch, going back to bed, tending to my Animal Crossing village, and then going back to sleep and waking up at about 12:30, get a drink, tend to my Animal Crossing village, watch some TNG.
Whilst Eddie is slaving away.
At least you've got normality in your life. That's sort of what I think. It's. I mean, it's crap because there's a virus out there, but at least you've got that little bit of like your life has changed, but not that much.
It doesn't really feel like for all intents and purposes, I'm living the same lifestyle I was, apart from, the days I wasn't working, I would be doing all sorts of performance-y nonsense. So I'm not doing that stuff, but like half the week is normal because I'm going to work and I'm doing all that kind of stuff. So it's like, okay, it does feel kind of like normality. The whole pandemic thing hasn't really. I mean, I know it's going on. I'm aware that there's a thing unfolding, but it's kind of like I'm living in a little bubble of, this is my life. Whereas for you guys, it's like,
well, wow. Yeah, I mean, we know this. I like being alone and indoors, so I'm doing pretty well. But
blissful.
Nick, I know you're more of a.
You kind of like people.
I mean, I don't. Well, saying that, I spend most of my time indoors, and I like it. And originally, when this all kicked off, I was like, well, actually, that sounds right up my street. It's that like I probably would enjoy, like being stuck inside. I can write some music. I can like do some cool stuff. I can write stuff that Pandacast wouldn't normally play. But like 2 months that I've now been in the house, and I'm a bit like, my problem is I can write the music, and I can do all that stuff, and I can play the instruments, but it's not the same as playing it with other people. Like, I've always been like that. I always have to be working collaboratively with people. Like, I just do not enjoy being on my own in that respect. I'm like, it's like a weird hybrid thing for me. Like, I like my own company, but when I'm doing something, I'd much prefer the comfort. It's more of like a comfort thing for me. Like,
and it motivates you as well if you have someone else to like answer to.
Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah, you bounce ideas off of, answer, like they can tell you that it's crap or if it's good, or like push you further down into a direction that you might just chuck in the bin. So yeah, I like working collaboratively, but that doesn't mean that I like people.
Yeah, Eddie is the people person in this scenario.
People. It is
Eddie's just like Jar Jar Binks. Eddie is the key to all of this.
I think that's where we will end this then.